Hi, Tom from bknutrition.com, and today I want to talk about 9 things that you can do and implement over the next 4 weeks that will get you through this period of UK lockdown during the COVID crisis. Now, while this is specifically a video I've done because of this new lockdown period, we're about to go into it in the next 3 days. So I've done this video to help you prepare for that, to get your mindset right and to get your nutrition right and your training strategy right for while you're in lockdown and also when you're coming out the other side. This video or podcast will also be relevant for if you have another life-changing situation where you're unable to do your normal daily routine. Some of the principles I'm going to talk about will be applicable there. So I'm going to go through them. This list is not in order. It's just some stuff I've written down, which I will go through with my own clients in more detail, and also stuff that I apply to my own life. So there's no order here. It's just things I've thought that are going to be helpful, and so you shouldn't treat one as the most important, two, etc., etc. So the main thing to focus on is you need to focus on what you can change and also control your reaction to things that are outside of your control. And what I mean by that is that in the last day or so since lockdown's been announced, I've seen a lot of people worrying and stressing on social media about the lockdown, about the gyms closing. I own a gym, if you didn't know, and my gym is being forced to close as well. Now, there's a lot of people who are worried about these things and calling the politicians a lot of different names and everything else. Now, I get that there's anger. I get that you're angry at this, that the situation's been like this. My gym is being forced to close. My income is being taken away from me. I'm not angry. I can't change that that's happened. Now, I know there are some people who are forming groups to try and get the thing with gyms overturned. While I support that action, I don't think that's a very good time for my energy to be spent in and stressing out over that, because it's probably not going to change anything in the next 4 weeks. And there are lobbying groups that are more powerful than what I am. I will give them my support, but I can't be stressing over that result. So I can't change that result, but I can give my support to it. And I can't worry about the fact that the gyms have been forced to shut. That's an action that I can't control. But what I can do is focus my attention on the things I can do as a result of that. So what I've done with my gym is put into place a number of different things that comply with the law to allow us to continue to help our members to keep in their optimal health and fitness while they're in 4 weeks of lockdown. And this video is part of that. This is me being more productive rather than going on Facebook and having a good rant at Boris Johnson and a few other people. That's not a good way to spend my time. But a better way is to help people in their health and fitness. So this video is part of that. Next, you might be worrying about the fact that you're going to lose muscle during this period of lockdown. And that's something I've also seen people stressing over. Now, let me assure you that you are not going to lose all the muscle you've gained over the last couple of years, even with considering the lockdown that we had in March through till July. And if you've been training consistently for the last 4 months, you will have gained most of that back, hopefully. And going through another 4 weeks is not going to let you lose all that muscle. Now, what will happen is that your muscles might shrink a little bit due to the lack of stimulation, the lack of glycogen that's full in them, the lack of water in them. But that doesn't mean your muscles have shrunk as a whole. All that's happened is the things that filled them have shrunk a little bit. That will come back after lockdown, and actually you can maintain a decent amount of muscle volume in terms of, I think the studies that have been done show almost complete maintenance of muscle size when they were only trained to about 17 to 19% of their total training capacity before. So all you have to think about is if you can get yourself some resistance bands or some dumbbells you can apply some resistance bands to, or something that you can lift that can stimulate the muscles. All you need to do is to lift and take that muscle to failure, and then that will send a signal. I talk about this in other videos, that the muscle needs to adapt and to grow. Yeah, you're not going to get massive from doing this, and it won't get you any massive muscle gains, but what it will do is send a signal to the body that you're still training, you're still using your muscles, and they need to be maintained. And then obviously you need to eat the protein to support that. So make sure, stop worrying about that you can't go to a gym. That's something you can't control. focus on the thing that you can control, and that is doing some sort of resistance training, even if it's only press-ups under tension. That can be a very powerful tool for your chest. Lifting something above your head under tension or very slow, that can be another way. I've done an actual whole webinar on this back in the last lockdown, so look back through my videos. It's called 21 things to do during lockdown that can help you get through it, or something like that. If you look through, I've done 3 long webinars on the fact, so there's plenty of information in there. Number 3, you could be thinking about repairing your injuries. So if you have a forced layoff, or you can't go to gym for a certain amount of time, something I say to my clients is, well, let's focus on repairing the injuries that are there. Because if you train hard, there's going to be some niggles, there's going to be some things that you sort of always work around in your training. 4 weeks is the optimal time to be thinking about getting those things fixed and repaired, so when you come back to training, you've got 100% working body again, and you can still maintain the muscle, like I said before, with a decent amount of resistance training to failure with more higher volume. So what we can do, that we can obviously train with a lower volume, like a deloading. That's what I was talking about just now. But the other thing we can do is to focus on getting correct sleep, and also we can supplement and eat properly so that we can rebuild the muscles and the tendons. There's a few good supplements for this. Fish oils are really good for this, anti-inflammatory action, and they help repair and rebuild. Krill oil, I found is very good for this. So krill oil and the fish oil combination. Vitamin C, good for tendons, and also if around the COVID time, 2 grams of vitamin C does help with the immune system generally. There's another video on that if you look through it, and also a supplement called Cissus, which actually you can't take if you're a competing athlete, because it can raise testosterone slightly, but actually Cissus is very good. The actual application for it is for tendons and muscle tears and stuff like that. So if you have got any niggles or anything else, get those 3 supplements and take them if you're not taking them already, as part of your vitamin and mineral regime, and that should help you recover. And also doing things like having hot baths and stuff, like encouraging blood flow into the area so that you're relaxing. And if you have a partner who can do massage, that sort of thing, then having massage will help with that as well. So focus on repairing your injuries. Remember, we need to focus on the things that you can control, not moan about the things that you can't and they're out of your control. You're just going to get more stressed over that. Number 4, maintain systems. So you will have certain systems in your life which you're doing at the moment. You might want to start looking at those systems to see if they are actually optimal for you. But when I'm talking about maintaining systems, I'm talking about things like if you're furloughed from work, you might fall into a trap of staying in bed late, getting up, not having a shower for ages. So you become very unproductive and lazy. And as a result of that, the downstream from that is you actually become more depressed and more unhappy. The fact that you're not living the life, you can't train, all these things come into it. So maintain those systems. When you get up in the morning, make sure you do have your breakfast. If you eat breakfast, have your shower, shave or wash, whatever you do in the morning to get yourself ready for work. And if you are working from home, make sure you put on work clothes if you're working from home, so that you are in that work mindset. And then when you stop in work, if you stop your furloughed work or whatever you're doing, take the work clothes off and get into your relaxation clothes. Remember, there's another video I talked about, it's called The Importance of Being Batman, setting the right mindset with the right clothes that you're wearing and creating the right environment. Part of that when you're at home is making sure that you are in a workplace. So where I am at the moment, this is my work desk. I don't eat from this desk. I don't watch TV from this desk. I only work from this desk. And if I go to eat, I go somewhere else. And if I watch TV, I go somewhere else, probably in the background just there. So I don't work from my couch, so that if I'm sat on my couch, I know I'm in a relaxation area. If I'm in my kitchen preparing my food or eating my food, I know I'm in a food eating, preparing situation. If I'm sat at this desk here, I know I'm about to do work stuff, and I'm about to talk on videos, or I'm about to do client stuff. And I even have hats that I wear. This is my gym hat, so actually I should be wearing my BKM hat, so this is but it's sort of ministry stuff, so that's okay. But I create those anchors for myself so that I know what mode I'm in, so that if I'm here, I'm working, I'm facing this way, I'm talking to the camera, I'm creating video content to help people like you. So make sure you are creating that environment and you're maintaining your systems properly. Otherwise, when you go back to work, it's going to be very hard to go back to work, and you're going to be demotivated. You're not going to be in that right mindset. Number five, you can, number five, you can think about having a focal point. So if you have time on your hands now, which you might do if you're furloughed from work and you haven't got a hobby you can enhance or whatever else, you need to think about having a focal point. Now, a focal point is something that you can, essentially something that you don't waste time. So you're not sat surfing on Facebook all day, because the last thing you want to be doing, especially through a lockdown, is surfing through Facebook all day, listening to the Tin Hat Brigade about the conspiracy theories and everything else, because that sort of stuff starts to stick. And although some of it may or may not be true, you don't really want to get involved into that conversation. Again, thinking about, it's not stuff you can control. You can only control your reaction to it. So I have removed a lot of people from my Facebook who are continually going on about conspiracy theories and stuff like that, because it's just stuff that mentally is dragging me down and is not keeping me in a positive mindset. I prefer to have people on my Facebook and my Instagram feed that are positive, that reinforce my mindset of being productive and giving something back to society. Moaning all the time about COVID, blah, 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 is not going to help you mentally. It's just going to keep you down in that pit. And it's not going to help the world in general. You're just going to be part of another group of people moaning about stuff they can't control. So I would suggest that you don't sit on Facebook all day. Keep that to a minimum anyway, like I try to do. And instead think about having a focal point. Now, a focal point could be having a 20-minute walk a day. That's something I do quite regularly, although admittedly I've fallen out of it for the last week or so. So that's I should get back onto that. So there's a self-admission there. So a 20-minute walk a day, which I was doing religiously until about a week ago. Think about reading a book chapter a day. So I have my own book. If you're looking for a book to read, go and get my book from Amazon. It's called Target Lean. It's about getting the body you want by eating foods you like. It's awesome. Go and buy it from Amazon. It's about 13 quid, I think. I've broken that down into about 79 chapters, and you can read a chapter in about 20 minutes. It's designed for short, very easily digestible, diet book, very easily digestible way to read the book, and it's very easy to read. There's no complex terms in it. Maybe learn something while you're in lockdown. Learn how to properly do your calories, your macros, learn the diet, how diet gurus con you, that sort of thing. Sorry for the book pitch there. What about watching YouTube videos? Now, I'm not talking about YouTube videos which are basically just clickbait and stuff like that. You might want to think about improving your mindset or improving your productivity by watching videos such as this, which help you with your lifestyle coaching, your training, everything else. I have over 100 videos on YouTube. So if you watch one a day, that would take you a third of the way through my videos. They are all excellent, so well worth watching. But you might want to look at another coach or another person who's not a diet guru, who's not going to try and con you or whatever. Don't fall into that trap. Guru things, which are always trying to push you into things and not trying to explain things properly. Make sure you're listening to someone who's actually reputable and getting positive content every day. So I try and keep my videos very positive all the time, talking about things you can do to improve your life, etc., etc. It's to leave you going away thinking, yes, I learned something there, great, or I reinforced something I already knew, which is also great. So maybe look at watching some YouTube videos from people who are reputable and can enhance your productivity and your mindset. Can listen to podcasts or audible books. I listen to podcasts and audible books. I also watch some YouTube videos, but not a lot. Generally, I'm in the car a lot, or I'm walking or something like that. So I listen to podcasts or audible books. An awesome audiobook to listen to is The Daily Stoic. I've done that recently, although I should have listened to one every day. I just went straight through and listened to the whole lot. But again, that is factored into, it's actually one a day for 366 days. So you could listen to one chapter of that a day, and that would again give you something to think about. Okay, all the things in it are not really going to align with what you're thinking, but it can get you thinking more productively, more positively. And although I'm a fan of Stoicism, I'm also a fan of other philosophies, but Stoicism is something I subscribe to, and actually thinking about focusing on what you can control and not worrying about the things that are out of your control, but controlling your reaction to it, is a Stoic mentality. So I would recommend that book. It's a very good book, but there are other books you can listen to, something which fits your personality. What about thinking about your nutrition? So you could focus on getting enough protein in every day. Now, this will be something that potentially, excuse me, potentially is going to be an issue, because if you are at home all day on furlough and not being productive and not working, watching TV all day, highly likely you're going to snack on bad foods. You're not going to get the protein that you need to, so your protein intake is going to go down, and that potentially is going to then affect your muscle, which you're worried about in point 1 or point 2 about wasting away because you're not feeding yourself enough muscle. So if you don't know how much muscle you've got to eat for protein how much protein you've got to eat to maintain muscle and build muscle, I have a muscle gain calorie calculator. Just go to the website bknutrition/muscle gain calorie calculator. That will give you the calories that you need to maintain and build muscle. Very easy, and it will give you some macro ideas as well. So go and do that if you're not sure. And what I would also think about is setting this as a 30-day habit. So if it's something you're trying to build, if it's a new habit you're trying to build, such as reading a chapter of a book a day, such as a 20-minute walk a day, such as eating enough protein a day, you've got 30 days now to focus on making sure you tick that box for 30 days. I think, okay, it's 28 days of lockdown, but 30 days you can focus on getting that thing in. Now, here's something that I've been doing in the last, I think, since the end of August, I've been doing, or in the beginning of August, I think it was, I've been doing a video a day on YouTube. So not one day has passed since that time where I have not loaded a video a day into YouTube. Now that is to help me produce more content, to think about my subject better, so how can I help my clients better. It's also about getting me in the right productivity mindset. If I've got to film a video a day, talk about nutrition, lifestyle coaching, muscle building every single day, then what happens is I become better at my subject, I read more about my subject, and so when I'm talking to my clients, I go, oh yeah, I just done a video on that the other day, and you can go and watch it, and it's making me better as a practitioner. It's also helping my clients, but I'm ticking that box every single day, and I have done for the last, I think, 60 days. I've loaded 69 videos in 60 days, something like that. I did a few more when I was doing the Fat Loss Focus Challenge. But the point is, my challenge for myself is 90 days, a video a day for 90 days. That's a tall order. It sounds easy to do, but when you're talking about nutrition, diet coaching, and everything else, you have to think about the topics, you have to think about how that's going to help people. That's 90 things you've got to talk about. So for me, I've really got to think about my subject now. I can't just talk about calorie deficit all the time, or build muscle all the time, or have a right mindset all the time. It has to be all the things, the ingredients that come into that, and that helps me help coach my clients better, and it helps you watching it get more out and hopefully get something productive. So I've set myself that challenge, that focal point for 90 days. All you have to do is do it for 30 days. Think about something you can tick the box for 30 days. It might even just be drinking the right amount of water in a day, getting in 5,000 steps a day. Whatever it is, make sure you do it. Set yourself a target every day. Get it on your calendar. Yes, I've done that every single day on the fridge so you can see you've done it. And at the end of the 30 days, look what I've done. I've been productive. I've actually done something in the lockdown. I've not just sat watching EastEnders or whatever for the last 30 days, pigging out on ice cream. Maybe you could eat a tub of ice cream every day and tick that off. At least you've done something for the 30 days. So number 6 is do not eat for boredom. And this is something that is especially relevant, and I've touched on it before. You might find you've got loads of time on your hands. You're probably going to eat for boredom. You're probably going to sit there thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm watching TV. I'm going to snack. I'm going to eat some foods. So there's a few videos I've done on coping with snacking. There's actually one called How to Cope with Evening Snacking. And what I would advise you to do is, if you do find yourself doing that, think about allocating your snacks into your daily calories. There's a whole video on that. Search back through my videos, and it'll show you how to do that. Don't try and avoid snacking. If it's something you're going to do, make sure you incorporate it into your life. But the other things that I've just covered will help you avoid that boredom and help you keep in that mentality of, I'm going to do something productive every day for all these days, that I'm not at work. Now for myself, because I still have to run the gym and I still have my nutrition consultancy to run, I do have work to do every day, but I'm not going into the gym every day talking with customers, talking with my staff, everything else. So I'm gonna have a big void there, which potentially could be taken up by surfing through Facebook, feeling sorry for myself that my gym's closed, all those things. So I've set myself other targets to do to enhance my gym product and to enhance my nutrition product. They've all been set out. So those are things I'm going to work on for 30 days. I've filled the gap with something else productive rather than, don't know what I'm going to do there. I'll just play on the Switch all day instead. Although I do like playing on the Nintendo Switch, and it does focus my mind and helps me relax. So have a scheduled date night. Now, what I mean by this is not so much a date night with your partner, although it could be that, but it's a scheduled night that you have with your kids, with your mates, if you're in that social bubble and you can meet each other, or with your partner that you live with, because you've got 30 days now of potentially being in the same house all the time, only seeing other people when you go out to the shops or whatever. So there's going to be less of being able to go out. You can't go to the pub, you can't go to the cinema, you can't, well, I suppose you could meet in parks, that sort of thing. But what I would suggest doing is you can download a video from Amazon Prime or one of the other video rental places and get your popcorn in, get everything else in and watch a movie to have a date night. That's one way of doing it. Or have a proper date night where you set up your table and have candles and everything else. Or if you're doing it with your kids, have a proper event that you do with the kids. Some of the things that people were seeing in the last lockdown is they were getting, oh, what am I going to do with the kids today? It's because they're trying to think of new things to do every day. And kids, can be entertained very easily. I mean, I have a 4-year-old son. He just loves dinosaurs. He plays with dinosaurs pretty much all the way through the day and watches a bit of YouTube Kids. But what we also do, we plan out things to do, and we've got things planned out in the next sort of 4 weeks, which I can do with him, which are events, and we're going to do this on this day, and the rest of the day we're just going to chill out or whatever. So we have got things to do, but it's because I've planned them out, not thinking, oh, I've got to do something epic every single day, because that's not how life works. If it's epic every single day, it won't be new, won't be good for them. So, and the same goes with you and your partner, or you with your kids or your friends or whatever. Have this date night set up where you go, right, Saturday we're going to do this. And you set it all up, you build it all up, maybe change your clothes into it, set the scene a little bit, whatever, make it a special event so that you are actually doing something, not just sat in the evening watching TV again like you do every single day. Make it something special to take your mind off and away from the fact that it's lockdown. And one I've got here is called Walk in the Rain. Now, I used to go for walks all the time. I just said at the beginning that I haven't been going for the last week, but I was going for a walk every single day. And I started that in lockdown to, again, focus my mind on something to do. And I would go for a walk every single day, regardless of if it was raining. In fact, if it was raining, I would make sure I would go out. The reason I go out in the rain is because there's that mental thing about the rain washing your troubles away, washing your mindset away. But it's also, you tend to appreciate coming back to your warm, tidy, hopefully dry house after you've been for a walk in the cold, wet rain. Because sometimes when we're sat in our house feeling sorry for ourselves, we don't appreciate the fact that we have got a house over our heads and we have got food to hand and we have got all these things, these creature comforts. We just focus on the fact that we're feeling depressed because of lockdown, etc., etc. Go out for a walk in the rain, get soaked all the way through, come back cold, shivering, walk into your house and it's nice and warm and dry and you can put new fresh clothes on. You will definitely appreciate what you've got in that situation. So I would say if it is raining and you are feeling a bit crap about yourself, go out in the rain, get soaked, come back in, and you will feel much better about the life you've got rather than the one you've just come in from. Because that is some people's reality. Sitting in the rain all day, homeless, no food, no shelter. That is some people's reality. And I don't want to get too much into that, but yes, you've got to think about what you've got sometimes. And remember, focus on what you can control and not stuff that's out of your control. The last one is to plan your return to the gym. Now, in lockdown before, we had 4 months off. Obviously, there was an open-ended lockdown. Then hopefully this time is only a 4-week lockdown. However, it might be longer than that, but I'm not going to get into that. But what we want to do is plan our return to the gym. So if you've done your keeping your protein up, you've done your little workouts to keep your muscle focus training and maintaining that muscle tone, if you're eating your protein, doing your mindset, all that sort of stuff, then you'll be able to plan, you'll be able to get ready for going to the gym. Now, I have a number of videos on workouts that you can do, different workouts that you can do. Just go through my archive, watch my Instagram. It will give you ideas about how to train, which is different from maybe the training you've done before. Sometimes it's nice to come back into the gym and just don't go back into the same thing you were doing before. Because you've had a rest, because you've had a layoff, doing something new when you come back will be a new stimulus, and because you've had that rest period, maybe going to respond better to that in the first couple of weeks than you were just doing the normal stuff that you did before. Also, it gives your mind something to focus on. Right, I'm going to try that as a different training protocol. I have different protocols I've done videos on. One is the 300 workout, which is I think a couple of days ago. Maybe have a go at that, because that is a tough way to train, but it's also very easy on your joints and on your tendons, and it's also something you can get in and get out and do within 45 minutes, so you're not overtraining the first time you go back to the gym. So plan out your return for the gym. I'm going to put a little plug in here. If you do want someone to help you do that and help with your nutrition, please give me a call, please give me a message. I'm more than happy to help and discuss that with you and work with you if you do need a coach. But that's the end of the plug. Sorry about that. Sometimes I've got to push my services a little bit. And I hope this video was helpful. I hope you got something from it. There's lots of things here I do myself. These are generally all the things I do myself to keep myself focused. I do it with clients. I focus on what they're doing, how they can change their lifestyle. And definitely the mentality is you must have in the next 4 weeks is not worry about what's out of your control. Don't moan about things you can't change. You're never going to change by moaning. Unless you're going to actually do something about that, like run for Parliament and change the law, then it's no point worrying about that. There are other pressure groups that are pressuring the government to get gyms open and get lockdown ended. All those things are in progress. Give them your support, yes, if it's needed, but don't waste time worrying it and bawling on Facebook about it, because it's just Facebook. No one's going to really care about it. They're just going to like and tick and tick and tick. And every time you get a like for a nasty post that you put up or a moaning post you put up, you are reminded of that thing you've just said, which makes you feel more negative. It compounds your negativity and you keep on moaning and moaning and moaning and you never actually get anything done. And all you do is make yourself more depressed. So focus on the things that you can control. You can control your reactions to things. You can control what you are doing and how you are reacting, how you're making yourself a better person over the next 4 weeks. So I hope that was helpful. Get a different mindset. I certainly won't be engaging any moaning on Facebook. I might read the stuff, but majority of those people I've now silenced, although they're still my friends. I don't want to be negatively impact with that sort of thing. I want to focus on how I'm going to be better after these 4 weeks, and you should be focusing on how you're going to be better after these 4 weeks. Otherwise, you'll come out the other end not very happy, depressed, and then it's December. And that's not a very good thought. So good luck for the next 4 weeks. If you do want to have a chat about working together, please let me know. If you found this video useful, please share, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.